Earnings season is still rolling on, even though we've heard from most of the Mag 7 except NVIDIA. But don't worry, there's still many interesting companies still to report. And this week, I consider it to be the fun week. There's a lot of fun companies reporting, many with excellent earnings surprise charts. These are companies you know, and I've covered many of these in the past on the Earnings All-Stars because they are all-stars. They have great track records. So what are these interesting and fun companies? Let's dive right in. Okay, the first one out of the gate is going to be SharkNinja, ticker SN. And maybe you haven't looked at this chart. This could be one of the ones I haven't covered as much as some of the others. But you can see this is the price and consensus and surprise chart. I like looking at this for these hot stocks so we get an idea of why it's so hot, not just because it's beat 5 times in a row since it went public in 2023. You can see that with all the little green arrows, but also because look at what is happening with the earnings growth. It's up and to the right, very solid on the earnings side. And that's also what I like to see. Now, these shares have hit new highs here in 2025. You can see it right here. They are up 13.6% year to date over the last year. As you can also see from the chart, very hot, up 110%. It's actually not that stretch on a valuation, trading at 23.7 times. What does SharkNinja do other than have a very cool company name? This is the brand that makes the fun small appliances. So the really cool hair dryers, curling irons. I guess they're curling irons. They're not really, but like with the non-heat kind of hair products. They do the vitamin or the beverage mixers. They do the vacuums. They have other cool products like an ice cream maker. So this is in your house somewhere, and it looks like they're selling quite a few of these small appliances now. And so this is going to be an interesting one to watch. Can they beat again? And what will happen with this guidance? You can see the analysts have been kind of flat here for a while. They've reached this peak, and then they haven't revised. And also another thing to watch now in these earnings reports is tariffs. How is that going to play? Where are their products manufactured? Will they have to pass along costs to the customer? These are all things to watch with SharkNinja, ticker SN. Okay, we're going to switch it up a bit, and we're going to go to another fun company that we've talked about many times in the past, Crocs, ticker CROX. I see up there it's a Zacks number 4, but that happens before an earnings report many times. Now, this is an interesting chart. Remember, the shares soared during the pandemic. Then they sold off like a lot of growth stocks in 2022. We had some insiders buying here on this sell-off. And then there's been fits and starts and back and forth. Over the last year, the shares are actually down 17.6%. And year to date, they're down big too. You can see this little sell-off here, also down 17% year to date. But an excellent earnings surprise track record. The only miss all the way back here in 2020, right when the pandemic busted out. So that's not a surprise, but otherwise, very good earnings surprises. They have gotten a little bit smaller here in recent quarters, but still some of these are pretty good double digits. That's a big one. And this is another small one. So, but a beat is a beat, doesn't matter the size. And I'm liking their track record. Now, what about the price and consensus part of this chart? You can see it's kind of been just holding. Although the analysts did briefly get a little more bullish about 25 and 26, but have brought those down a bit. But still, the stock is dirt cheap, trading at 7 times on the sell-off. And shoes usually do well in recessions. However, it is a global company. Tariffs could come into play with a company like Crocs. So that's something that's going to come up on their conference call, I'm sure. but I'm going to be watching this one closely. Crocs, ticker CROX. Then we're going to switch it up to the tech side of things with one that I have featured many times, Palo Alto Networks. It's the juggernaut. And look at this chart. Perfection across the board. No misses in 5 years. So just green arrows everywhere, up and to the right with the stock chart. And then the earnings showing that growth up and to the right, but has not fooled the analysts here. We're still expecting solid earnings growth, but they haven't really changed it up much. You can see a little bit of an uptick here in 2025 heading into this number. So that could mean the analysts are getting a little more bullish, even just a little bit ahead of this report, which is also a bullish thing. Now, Palo Alto Networks has not been cheap for many years, trading at 61 times earnings, still near those all-time highs. Year to date, it's up 8.7%. As you can see, this little rally right here. But 1 year, it's only up 5.6%. And some of that is because back here, you had this spike. And so it's not including this dive yet. So that's why it doesn't look that great on a year over year basis, but still near those highs. Is there more gas in the tank? That's what you have to ask yourself on stocks like this. So far, the answer has been yes, other than this stall out in 2022 when everything else was selling off. They just stalled. So can this stock continue to rally here even at these valuations? We're going to find out. Then we're going to switch it over to what I consider to be kind of a controversial stock this week. Airbnb was once a darling during the pandemic as everybody rushed out to stay in their Airbnbs in remote locations, more rural locations away from everyone during the pandemic. And now they've kind of returned to the cities and hotels. But you can see a lot of that happened here in 2022. We did get a rally in the stock off those 2022 lows, but it's weakened again here. 2 misses in a row now. So that's getting the street a little nervous, perhaps. And the analysts still bullish on the earnings, but they've been bringing it slowly down. And that's why you see these arrows going the wrong way right now, but still showing earnings growth. It does have a PE of 30 now. So is that expensive for this level of growth? You're going to have to ask yourself. But the shares, like I said, have kind of stalled out. Everybody's waiting to kind of see what happens. This is one of the few on the travel side that is not outperforming. Year to date, up just 2.9%. 1 year, it's actually down 12%. But still kind of in that no man's land. It's got growth, so maybe it's a growth stock, but it doesn't have value. It's not cheap enough to really entice the value investors. So we'll see. Maybe they will return to faster growth this quarter and these shares will start to move. But that's Airbnb, ticker ABNB. Then we're going to wrap it up with a stock that has been red hot. It's finally breaking out again. And that is the Twilio, ticker TWLO. We can see it's got the Zacks #1 rank even going into this report. What's happening? My things are missing. Oh, that's just the price and consensus. We need the surprises too. And you can see, like Palo Alto Networks, not a miss in 5 years. Very impressive. Huge beats down here. These long green arrows are the magnitude. So 65%, 50%, but the street didn't care. Once it sold off these shares in 2022, it became kind of, person non grata here on the street until late last year. And now the shares are surging up to multi-year highs, not near those all-time highs yet. But if you manage to buy down here, this is a welcome relief. Over the last year, the shares are up 103%. So you would have doubled your money there. And even year to date, up 32% on the software side. Is software back? Look at this earnings price to consensus part of the chart. And up and to the right, it is showing the growth. It's starting to accelerate here. And you can see, even at least for 2026, the analysts are getting somewhat bullish. It's probably why we've got the Zacks #1 rank ahead of this earnings report. So what's this valuation? Trading at 33 times. But if this is back to a growth stock, the street's not really going to care about the valuation. So is this all? Is this the end of the rally? Or do we have more to come on Twilio? It's back in the spotlight, and I love seeing that. It wasn't so much fun when it was just moving sideways here all those years, but now we've got the breakout. Can it sustain? I'm going to be watching it. So Twilio, ticker TWLO. And so as always, these are the fun charts for this week, but there's others. This is a very busy week, as I mentioned, and it was hard for me to pick out just 5 that I wanted to watch this week. There's some other fun ones like Yeti, which normally I do show on this episode, but I decided to show Shark Ninja instead. But there's a lot of fun companies along the way this week. So be sure to tune in to my social media feeds. I'm going to be tweeting out a lot of these charts all week long. And as always, you should be on our YouTube channel to get all of the earnings news. We're covering it all. I'm covering it on these videos. I'll have a few more videos still to come because we haven't seen NVIDIA yet. And there's other tech names that are also still to come that are going to be big movers. So be sure to subscribe on our YouTube channel at zacks.com/YouTube, or put in Zacks Investment Research to get all of our videos. Just subscribe so you don't have to think about it, and it'll pop up right when we upload this, and you won't miss a single thing. So be sure to subscribe, as I said, and I'll see you again next time on the earnings charts.